Honorable Union Minister of Finance and Corporate Affairs has arrived at the venue. Accompanying her are our distinguished guest, Dr. Jitendra Kumar, Managing Director, Biotechnology Industry Research Assistant Council, BIRAC, along with Professor Bhinkappaiah R. Desai, Director of IIT Dharwad. We request everyone to kindly rise from your seat and join us in extending a warm and respectful welcome to our chief guest and other dignitaries. Thank you. You may now please be seated. On behalf of the IIT Dharwad, I, Dr. Deblina Chakraborty, extend a very warm welcome to one and all present here. Today, we gather for a momentous occasion, the inauguration of the Dharwad Research and Technology Incubator, in abbreviation dhaRti Foundation, and the dhaRti BioNEST Incubation Centre at IIT Dharwad, which envisioned to empower and support budding innovators. By lighting the lamp, let us celebrate the spark of innovation and the spirit of entrepreneurship that our IIT Dharwad stands for. I now invite our chief guest, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, Honorable Minister of Finance and Corporate Affairs, along with our esteemed dignitaries, to kindly join us for the ceremonial lighting of the lamp, making the auspicious beginning of today's event. Thank you, everyone. To continue the proceedings, I invite Professor V.R. Desai, Director of IIT Dharwad, to deliver the welcome address.
ಸರ್ವರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಮತ್ತು ಕ್ಷಮಾಯಾಚನೆ. ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಸುಮಾರು 1 ಗಂಟೆ 38 ನಿಮಿಷವರೆಗೆ ವಿಳಂಬ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ದೆರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಡಿಲೇ ಆಫ್ ಅರೌಂಡ್ 1 hour and maybe 38 minutes. So today is a special day, not just for IIT Dharwad or the town of Dharwad in Karnataka, but for the future of innovation in our country. So with the inauguration of dhaRti, that is Dharwad Research Technology Incubator Foundation, and the BioNEST Incubation Centre, we are providing the top quality research, startups, and deep technology, which need not belong only to big cities. They can also grow and succeed right here in the heart of India, in Hon'ble, Dharwad, Belgaum, cities like this one. What makes the initiative special is the strong vision and unique support system. We are really grateful to our Honorable Union Finance Minister and Corporate Affairs Minister, Nirmala Sitharaman Madam, who supported with her Member of Parliament Local Area Development Scheme to the tune of rupees 5.29 crores, and as well as to Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance Council, popularly known as BIRAC, from the Department of Biotechnology, DBT, Bharat Sarkar, for adding 5 crores to this MPLAD generous contribution from Madam. So this partnership is a unique initiative between the local development funds as well as the national innovation support. And this is a great example for the whole country to emulate and replicate. At dhaRti BioNEST Centre, 15 startups have already working on providing solutions to real-life problems in the areas of healthcare, sustainability, food technology, and engineering. Some of them have already received important national level grants also. And this is just the beginning. With advanced biology labs, modern testing equipment, medtech prototyping units, liquid chromatography, mass spectroscopy, as well as gas chromatography, mass spectroscopy systems, three-dimensional, that is popularly known as 3D printing tools, and strong mentorship, dhaRti is already has become the North Karnataka's leading platform for biotech, agri-tech, and deep tech innovations. But more than these facilities, it is the building confidence in people, young innovators from small towns and villages. And so you need not move to Bengaluru, Hyderabad, or Silicon Valley. You can, that is, ideate your ideas and then create products which will be useful and feasible, provide feasible solutions from samasya to samadhan, as well as eventually reaching samruddhi or plethora. In the coming years, we plan to support more than 100 startups, train over 500 professionals, make North Karnataka globally known for a hub for this agri-tech, biotech, as well as deep tech, and next generation innovation, this one. On behalf of IIT Dharwad, I sincerely thank all of you for sparing your valuable time, as well as Nirmala Sitharaman Madam, as well as the Government of India, in which she is holding a major finance and corporate affairs portfolio, as well as Karnataka Sarkar, as well as BIRAC. So with these few words, just I won't hold back this one. So mera वाणी को विराम देता हूँ. धन्यवाद. शुभ दिन. Let us hear from MD BIRAC and then followed by Madam Nirmala Sitharaman.
Thank you, sir, for your welcoming address. To continue, I would like to invite our guest of honor, Dr. Jitendra Kumar, Managing Director, BIRAC, to address the gathering.
Honorable Finance Minister, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, Professor Desai, Director IIT Dharwad, faculty of this great institution, students, industry representatives, startups, and leadership, local leadership ministers from this region. I'm so glad to be here today because today is the day where we are celebrating the crown of the jewel innovation ecosystem of the country. Why I say so? Because this is the first time any MP-led scheme has come forward along with the national initiative of BIRAC to create an ecosystem. So we have around 100 BioNEST Incubation Centers across the country, and this is the 101st, and therefore definitely this is a crown of jewel. And I thank Madam Nirmala Sitharaman Madam for accepting this as a proposal. It has an interesting story. Actually, I was in Bangalore BioNEST Centre when Madam had a chance to visit Bangalore BioNEST Centre. And that was in year 2021, July. And later I moved to BIRAC, and one of the officers who was Director ITBT, Sri Nakulji, was there when I was there at Bangalore BioNEST Centre. And when he came to know that I am here in central government, immediately we met, and he told that there is an MP-led scheme, suggest what can be done. And beyond Bengaluru, I mean not in Bengaluru. So definitely this was the first choice that came to my mind. We zeroed in on, and with the director sir's help, this came into vision. And I think within short time, this has come into fruition. We always say Within 1 year, we have almost in every incubation center, we see 100 incubation centers that we have, some 20 startups within first year. This is very, very uniform, and this Hubli is not an exception. We saw some 20 startups registered here, and within 5 years, we see some 100 in the medium-sized incubation center, like CCAM Bangalore or Bangalore BioNEST Center, 75 to 100 BioNEST incubation, the incubatees, the startup companies, and then they have the valuation of 5 crore per startup within first year. So if there are 10 or 20, then 100 crores we are talking about. And if MPLADS and BIRAC has contributed 5 crore, 10 crore, so we are talking about 10 times return, economic returns from one incubation center. And within 5 years, it goes to multiplier effects like 10,000 crores also we have seen in evaluation of the companies, I'm saying. Valuation of the startup companies, because they raise funds and they get a lot of other technology development, proof of concept stage, validation stage, so their valuation increases. So this is a very good system where incubation centers become the economic engines for the nation. And our finance minister lays much more emphasis to this innovation ecosystem is great, commendable commendable act that everybody can appreciate. I really appreciate it very much. Incubation centers provide plug and play facilities for the startup companies. It provides mentorship support. It provides fundraising. It provides marketing and any support system that is required for startups to succeed. And therefore, it can become the innovation hubs. What we see in Boston area, what we see in Harvard, Stanford, it all grew like that. From academic institutions, scientists, entrepreneurs, and other places also who are not professors and students from that locality or that university, they came to that incubation center and they did proof of concept. They launched high-value products. We saw in 1973, this Genentech, the first biotech company from the Stanford. And from that time onwards, we see a lot of companies having new innovative products coming to market. And that's why these countries have become prosperous. We still are in lower income middle income country, and we have to go to the Viksit Bharat, the developed country by 2047. And I think incubation centers can provide a huge impetus to this goal. It can contribute to the Viksit Bharat vision that our Honorable Prime Minister has, supported by our Honorable Finance Minister. I think we can definitely do it. I have seen it in the last 15, 20 years of my journey in the innovation ecosystem. I have seen how these companies have grown. There are a lot of good examples I can say. The first molecule, nephromycin, has been launched very recently by Bocard, a company funded by BIRAC. Then there is a CAR-T therapy, NextCare, which was launched by Honorable President of India in IIT Mumbai. So IIT Mumbai was one of the earliest incubation centers. So I really feel that IIT Dharwad also can have a lot of good innovative products which will bring our country to the next level or the global map. We are suppliers of the vaccine pharma of the world. Definitely we have the capabilities, but this is by volume. I'm talking about by value, we have to become more and more a country driven by knowledge economy, the IP-driven economy. And that's how we can become a prosperous country, a Viksit Bharat. So from where we are now, there are some challenges, and we are working on it. So we do not have facilities for scale up. So BioE3 policy has been launched by our Honorable Prime Minister just last year, and there's a good funding here. So we have created around 20 bio foundries and bio innovation hubs, bio manufacturing hubs. These are advanced level over and above the incubation centers that we currently have. So you will be surprised to know that in the world, we have only 100 to 120 biofoundries and biomanufacturing hubs across the globe, where the government has supported a center for state-of-the-art biomanufacturing. So now we have around 1/5 to 1/4 of the facility we have here in our country, which matches very well with the emergence of our country as a fourth largest economy. So I really think that our country can catch up with the whole world, and with the with the support from our Honorable Finance Minister, definitely we can make our country proud. I'll not take much time because we're already running short of time, but I have a lot to share and I will keep on coming here. Any help required from BioNEST Center definitely can come to BIRAC and we'll be there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your encouraging words. Now I request Dr. Kalyan Bhattacharjee, Registrar IIT Dharwad, to felicitate Dr. Kumar. Now I kindly request Professor V.R. Desai to felicitate our chief guest, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman. Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman ji has graciously offered to interact with the student community of IIT Dharwad this evening. I now request the student to ask their question directly to the ma'am. Please keep them brief and do mention your name before you begin.
Namaste, Madam Finance Minister. My name is Yogesh Kumar. I am from Bihar, and I am MTech student in Computer Science and Engineering. My question is, how can institutions like IITs develop their roles not only in enhancing the employability and fostering entrepreneurship, but also in the retention of talents, so that the knowledge created here contribute directly to the growth?
Retain within the IIT or retain in India?
Retain in India.
Retain in India. I think it is, I look at it in a broad sense. We are at an inflection point. Please sit down.
Thank you, ma'am.
For decades, India invested in education. Maybe not as much as you all want, but it did invest in quality education, particularly quality higher education. And as a result, we've had always a good set of people coming out of premier institutions who could contribute in their chosen field. However, the opportunities within the country were limited. One, and second, opportunities for further research were lots more contemporaneous and also readily accessible. So there was a generation or even two generations of people who went through the Indian higher education system, showed excellence, which the institutions enabled as well, and as a result sought to have opportunities which existed elsewhere also to be utilized by them. Not wrong at all. So you had people going out. But today, because of the continuous emphasis on building our economy in various different ways, And also because the government has come out with huge funding assistance for R&D, and the latest announcement for funding assistance for R&D inclusive of R&D in private sector, I see this is that inflection point where people coming out of good higher education centers can have opportunities within India. And therefore, retaining is the word that you used. The enabling environment is the one which attracts people to be wherever they want to be. Today, India is providing that enabling environment, be it for startups, be it for pure science research, or be it even for technology-driven app researches. So I think the phase for retaining, in my words, attracting that skill, that knowledge is now growing in India, and I would think therefore retention or holding back or attracting talent should now be possible for us.
Thank you, ma'am.
Next question. Yes.
Good evening, ma'am. I am Pratham Thakkar, final year electrical engineering student at IIT Dharwad. I am currently working in the investment banking space where I have observed several startups driving remarkable innovation and growth, yet many of them still struggle to be profitable. In your view, how can young innovators balance the pursuit of profitability with creating meaningful and sustainable impact for the nation?
Young innovators, your core business is to keep innovating. Profitability comes absolutely only when you're reaching the stage of commercializing and scaling up your production. So young innovators, to remain in the area in which they have to do much more of innovation or continue to do innovation, will have to be supported. But profitability, I think, is a word which has to wait, because that is realistically attainable only when you're going to commercialize your product. So I wouldn't want the confusion in the mind of a young innovator that when am I going to be profitable to hinder his sharp intellect with which he has to keep innovating. But as he keeps innovating, I think there should be incubators such as which is in IIT Dharwad, to make sure that the necessary prerequisites are done, hand-holding that innovator, whether you register your patent or whether you commercialize the patent, whether you bring in the commercial production people into the scene, and not burden the mind of the innovator with these sort of non-core business. It is not an innovator's business to become profitable. He keeps producing fancy good things which are going to be transformational for the society. And he should not be bogged down with, oh, will I make profit, will I not make profit? No. That should be done by, let's say, partnering people who can fund them, who can handhold them, who can do the necessary prerequisites in the name of diligence, due diligence, and comply with expectations of, regulatory supervision or stamping for quality, and then look for partners who can keep producing it. And it is that time when the profit comes. So I would want a system, and I think in government we are very favorably inclined to keep supporting innovators. But of course, you'll reach a stage where you can make your profit. So I think in the timeline, first comes your innovation, improving on your innovation, but equally there should be a set of people who can handhold you and lead you towards profit.
Thank you, ma'am.
We will take one more question from our students. Yeah.
Namaste, ma'am. I am Dimple Varuni, currently pursuing BSMS in IIT Dharwad. Ma'am, my question is, your journey as a woman leader is truly inspiring.
Please be
for
loud.
us, ma'am. Your journey as a women leader in our country is truly inspiring. My question is, what motivated you to get into this public life, and what qualities and experiences made you stand there? Thank you.
I don't think I planned for it. But once I was in there, I kept playing with the team. So I would think team and motivating the team, being together with the team, and keeping the spirit of the team is a very important first step. And of course, you will have to, in your mind, keep looking up to people who can give you that kind of a message or mentoring. They need not be in the same walk of life. They can be anywhere. You need to be mentored, to have a holistic approach with which you can be in the area in which you've chosen to be. So those are, I think, two important things I would think for any field, not just in political life or in a particular area of activity, but in every area of activity. You need to be a team player. You keep the motivation of the team up. Equally look for people who can mentor you so that you become a lot more rounded. I think these are the two messages I would think are important.
Thank you, ma'am, for your kind and inspiring words. Ma'am, we would like to request you to address the gathering a little more.
I thought there'll be more of students wanting to ask me questions. No? You want to listen to a monologue from my side? No, I think they want to interact.
Okay, ma'am.
Don't impose on them a monologue.
Thank you, ma'am. So we will take a few more questions. Next question, please.
Good evening, ma'am. I am Sanika Viswas, pursuing BSMS in IIT Dharwad. So my question is that today many young Indians are well educated, but often find a mismatch between their academic skills and the industry requirements. So how is the government addressing the gap to create future-ready jobs for the next generation? Thank you.
From your question, I thought you were going on the route of future-ready for employment students and not future-ready jobs. Jobs are there.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
from your question, I understood that young graduates coming out of universities are not ready for that kind of jobs. The skill sets that they have may not match with the expectation of the industry. If that's the way you wanted to put it, that's how I understood it. There are several schemes that the government is coming up with, but although most important, I would think, is for the curriculum itself to have industry participation, particularly for sectors which have technology in them, so that even as you're going through your course and about to complete it, you have at least the primary skill sets which an employee will be looking for in you. I've heard major companies tell me, manufacturing and also those who are in IT businesses, that after recruiting a well-qualified graduate, they still spend about 8 months after the employment, after recruiting this individual, to get him ready, get him or her ready for the job in which they've recruited the person. Actually, it should not be at the level of the employer. I'm not trying to cut their cost down. They will still have to do it for inculcating their company's values. But it is that which should have been in the last few months or year of graduation in the university itself, so that when you go out and you are recruited, you are straight getting into the job. however amateurish your approach may be, you'll still be ready for the job. So there is a lot of work going on with the universities to tell them to give such skills also so that they will be job ready. I only will take one example, which is not the only skill set that you need, but there may be very many more to add for that set of skills which is required. But I take one from that basket of skill sets that you'll require, which is language. Not the computer language, but the language which is in daily parlance. Either you learn a language with an intention of serving a particular part, a particular geographical area, learn Russian if you're going there, or learn Japanese to be ready to understand the technology with which they are in the manufacturing area. Or you're looking at a particular country which has a particular technology, you want to be ready with their language, other than the skill sets that you'll need for technically performing your jobs. So these are kind of things which should have been part of what is taught in a university, so that even as you exit from there, you have these additional skills which will make you attractive for an employer. So I would strongly appeal for universities to have those kind of courses depending on the aptitude of the student, not make one jacket fits all. So that's one of the things which I would think which will make any level of diploma holder or a master's holder or a PhD person ready for the market. That's got to come out of the center where they're learning, not after getting out. But this is not purely a challenge for within India to mop up the resources, to have a budgetary provision, and also to identify people who can come up with such innovative technologies which can help us to speed up on zero emission. It is not just within the domestic area. The challenge is a lot more from outside as well. Even as we want to be focused and move towards green in very many different ways, provide green energy, bring in technologies which can speed up on zero emission, make primary products which are core products which are important for our developmental activities, whether it is steel, whether it is cement, be made with less carbon emission. You need money to be going in there, technology to be going there, adaptation made easier for industry and so on. So there are multiple ways in which we have to address this question. But even as we are doing it very focused, there is a disarray outside. There are countries which are reverting back to coal. There are countries which are saying gas is unaffordable for us. Because at one point in time, a lot of people thought natural gas would be the transitional energy for countries to move from fossil fuel to green. But transitional gas costs are becoming unaffordable for countries. So many countries who can't afford it, but who have some coal available in their countries, are reverting back to using coal. Gasification of coal is also one of the major attempts in which a lot of money, search for appropriate technology are all happening. But the challenge outside, which are called as a disarray sort of outside, is because technology is not easily available. Although countries like India would come up with digital public infrastructure. 1 minute, I'm giving an example outside of green. Although countries like India would invest in creating a public good by creating digital infrastructure which is publicly funded so that everybody can use, there is no approach to deal with environment-related matters where public fund is creating public good so that everybody can use it. And that is why when technology is sought by people or countries, they have to be procured. It's not available for common good. And when you go to procure it, first of all, they're hardly available. They are few and far between. So to make an approach to access technology which can help in greening ourselves is also now becoming impossible, because you can't access technology, or when you access it, you can't afford it. So with technology not being available, transitional gas not being available or not affordable, many countries are sort of slowing down their speed with which they wanted to approach net zero. So the challenge remains outside. And if the challenge outside is so strong, however much you're pushing with your own resources, India has funded its own green schemes while we fulfill the Paris obligations, COP21 obligations. Now we have a higher ambitious obligation set for ourselves in Scotland. We have challenges, we have resource problems. Even despite that, we've come up with green bonds so that people can fund for green activities. We are making sure that green is also given support by government, by CSR funds. We will launch the hydrogen mission. We are looking at green energy as a government-driven program. A lot of productivity linked incentives are also ready for them. So there is a marathon, both from the government and from the private sector, to make India move towards a sustainable green model.
Ma'am, I would like to take an opportunity to ask another question on behalf of our student. Being one of the economics faculty, we keep receiving this question from the students inside and outside the class. They are concerned about the fact that which kind of financial and economic skill they should focus, as well as what kind of government policies are available to be relevant and to work competitively in the changing financial scenario of the country as well as globally. Especially they are concerned about fintech industries or startups.
I don't know if you were there in the Global FinTech Fest, which was held recently in Mumbai. Amazing canvas of fintech-related activities, fintech-related challenges, fintech-related next-generation questions, and fintech-related solutions which are coming, and they're all from Indian young people. A fest of that kind actually brought together everyone who is in the fintech arena already, and those who've been there for some time, along with those who want to get into that area. It was enamoring, the kind of issues that they discussed. Of course, there's a need for greater awareness, but today I think India stands out in having tried, tested, scaled up and speeded up adaptability of fintech solutions, all at one go in a matter of 7-8 years. And when I say all, and I'm sure majority of you all know it, but because the spectrum is so wide, I'll just drop a few names as to where the fintech interventions happened. We couldn't have achieved financial inclusion without the Jan Dhan Yojana, which depended on the digital public infrastructure. Now, you're able to have people, everyone coming into this banking system, the formal system. And each one has an identity, and he's able to activate his phone to get messages about what's happening in his account or her account. Later, with his footprint clearly getting established, credit availability has also now become highly digitized. Again, thanks to fintech. banks and the credit receivers are connected in no time. That is why we were able to launch at least 2-3 budgets ago a 59-minute loan application in principle being accepted kind of a scheme, so that wherever you are, you can get that. And later on, you can follow it up with the bank and so on. From there, we moved with just digital identity and no guarantees required, no sovereign support required, meaning no security to be given by the person who wants the loan. Today, he can get it with government security through some schemes, just proving his digital identity. We brought in account aggregators, again a fintech, splendid revolutionary item, where the aggregator would get the bank's details and the customer's detail with clear permission explicitly given. And it would do the match and mixing for seeing where this customer can receive best option from which bank. All within minutes. So this customer sitting in Dharwad probably can benefit from a bank which is in Kolkata or a branch wherever for the terms that he wants in obtaining a loan. And this account aggregator, which is a digital entity, will only be a pass-through. It doesn't keep the data of the bank or data of the customer. It just goes through. A revolutionary step, and it has actually improved the credit availability for businesses, small businesses in particular. Again, a fintech related wonderful idea which came up and which is benefiting people is to have an open network for digital commerce. Anyone can be onboarded. However small you may be, wherever you may be, whatever art or whatever product that you may produce. The ONDC is a fantastic revolution. You don't need to pay the app owner, no charges to be given, it's completely publicly funded. So actually fintech in India, the QR payment which is now everywhere, every street corner you find it, actually has made all the plastic cards irrelevant. So you look at stage by stage by stage, but within a short span of 7-8 years, where fintech in India has built this fantastic foundation, which is useful for rural, urban, literate, semi-literate, women, man, everybody anywhere in the country can access every one of these in the language in which you want. As a result, I was reading this data somewhere, digital adaptability in payments in India is somewhere in the region of 87%, whereas globally it is still about 61-62%. That's the level of fintech revolution, fintech foundation, fintech being accepted by people, fintech therefore being scaled up. So if you were to ask a question on fintech, and I referred the Global Fintech Fest, we are now talking about the next generation. We've got all this, now where to go next? That's where fascinating ideas are coming. And I honestly would want you to go to whatever YouTubes of the world and see what happened in that FinTech Fest. You probably will get a lot more answers for your question than from me.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for your inspiring and lively interaction. As we come to the end of this event, it's time to express our heartfelt gratitude to everyone who made this day possible. I now invite Dr. Kalyan Bhattacharjee, Registrar, IIT Dharwad, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Honorable Chief Guest Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman ji, distinguished dignitaries, industry leaders, faculty members, innovators, and friends. It is my privilege and honor to propose the vote of thanks on this momentous occasion, the inauguration of dhaRti BioNEST Incubation Centre at IIT Dharwad. On behalf of the entire institute fraternity, I would like to express our deepest gratitude to our chief guest, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman Madam Ji, for her vision, constant encouragement, and invaluable support under MPLADS, which laid the foundation of this initiative. Madam, your belief in nurturing innovation beyond metropolitan cities has become a strength for us. A special thanks to BIRAC and Department of Biotechnology, especially Dr. Jitendra Kumar Ji, for trusting IIT Dharwad and partnering with us in building this incubation ecosystem. A heartfelt thanks to our director, all faculty members, all staff members of IIT Dharwad whose tireless effort have brought this vision to reality. Special mention must be made for dhaRti Foundation team whose dedication and planning have led to the successful establishment of this state-of-the-art facility. We are equally grateful to all the distinguished guests, industry partners, collaborating institutions such as CFTRI, Kaher, Vadwani Foundation, our startup founders, researchers, and students who have joined us today to celebrate this important milestone in IIT Dharwad's journey towards promoting innovation-led growth. As we move forward, the dhaRti BioNEST Incubation Centre will serve as a nucleus for nurturing startups, fostering biotechnology-based entrepreneurship, and contributing to the Atmanirbhar Bharat vision by translating research into social impact. Once again, I extend my heartfelt thanks to Madam, BIRAC, and every individual who has contributed to make this initiative a grand success. Thank you all to bring a part of this significant day in the history of IIT Dharwad. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. With that, we conclude today's inaugural ceremony. May we all carry forward today's enthusiasm and continue to foster innovation and excellence. I request audience to be seated till the dignitaries leave this stage. Audience are requested to be seated.